All right, so we're back at camp, still in the woods. It's been quite cold recently. I think we're quite lucky we haven't got as much snow as some of the other parts of the country. But today I want to talk a little bit about sort of celestial navigation, a few different bits of bobs, and then we'll focus on sort of moon navigation and have a look at a moon compass in a bit. But first of all, I'm just going to chat a little bit about stars. I know there's a lot of stuff here that might not necessarily be, sort of direct, like bushcraft and stuff like that. But just sort of how you can sort of connect the dots, as if you will, pardon the pun. So if we're starting off with stars and stuff like, there's obviously a lot of good books out there, sort of navigation if you're going into your survival and bushcraft books. To find your north, south, east and west and whatnot. But and then obviously if you've got a good phone, you can get some really good apps out there. I think there's one called Stellarium that's quite good. Sort of you can point it up at the stars and it will just give you your constellations and that there. But I was going to show you the old sort of version of doing that, just for those of you that are interested. Let's see, we've got it over here. It's one of these called a Planosphere. This actually looks more like a little record case there. Philips. That's sort of you get the different latitudes on there. So obviously, if you're in the States or in the Southern Hemisphere, you need to sort of get the sort of appropriate one for yours. But this is basically what you would have used before your apps, and it comes like inside of there. There's a lot of sort of instructions, and then how to get all the other relevant bits and bobs. But you'll get one of these. I'm just going to move in a little bit closer there. I don't know if you can see that all right. Now, the way this works is you basically have to hold that up into the sky, and then up here you'll have your north, and obviously you want to already kind of know where your north is at that point. But what you would do is you find your month. It's daylight now, so I'm not going to be able to find any stars, and then here you've got your timings. So if today we're on the 25th, so I think we're about 1400 at the moment. But so you just align that there, yeah. So once you've aligned that, you've got your January, you've got your time, your date. You're happy with that. What you do is you'd find your north, bearing in mind you'd know which way north is, and then you need to hold that up to the sky. So north is here, and I'd hold that up there. Now Polaris, the North Star, on this little map here is right that middle whole section. So you can see that moves the sky around there. So and that's how you can get your star picture, and that's quite a good sort of way to do that if if you're not that interested in the apps and stuff like that. So that's just getting your star pictures and that. What I want to talk about now is the moon. The moon's a bit can be a bit complicated. Well, it's easier for some to use the stars, but the sort of simple ones with the moon is obviously getting your south from the moon. Is if you've got like in the northern hemisphere, if you've got like your crescent moon, you just join the horns together with your imaginary line and bring that to the horizon. Obviously you get your south that way. Those are sort of your easier ways, but there's little methods you can use, and actually some have been used by the military as well, to actually navigate by the moon. So first off, there's like a little chart that we can use. We've got a couple of them down here. That's black and white there. I don't know. We'll see if you can see that. So I don't know if you can see that all right in the camera. Like I say, if you don't see anything, probably just whack it in the comments as well. So I do have a tendency to make little mistakes like that. But basically, at the top, I'm just going to try and get you close in there. These are your days of your moon cycle on the top, and this is your 24-hour clock. It's a bit sort of it's not very focused. The printout wasn't that great. As you can see here, you've got south, east, west, north runs along these sort of diagonals. But what you do is we're about 3 just over 3 days off of full moon, right? So we're round about here, there's 12, about 12, right? Now we probably wouldn't be looking at the moon till sort of late at night, so let's say 2100 over here, and basically we would join them together with our date, and at the time we'd be looking at the moon, and that would give us our direction. Now it's quite vague on this one here, but as you can see, it would be good enough to find direction. Now I know this is quite big, but you could make this similar sort of size for so we have like little chits for our Naismith rule, for our sort of judging our distances and navigation. You could make a little credit card size version of this. It wouldn't be an issue. And again, like I say, you've got your moon's up here, so you can kind of, you know, get that all coordinated as well. Now if you want to get more accurate, this is sort of like the military one there. I've got to apologise for this, but the printout, it sort of cut me off there. But these would be the days. As you can see, I haven't got the full days in there. But then round here, I've got the 12th day of the cycle, and basically you have your 24-hour clock would be running there. But instead of giving you, you know, south, southwest, north and whatnot, this will actually give you bearings. Yeah. So using the same principle, we would be down here. Yeah. That'd be like 176 degrees. Yeah. So that would give you a precise bearing rather than just an idea of your direction. So these are little chits you can have for moon navigation, which are quite handy. Like I say, you could make it in a smaller card size, have it in your pocket as another little way to navigate if you're wanting to go sort of natural navigation way. And then there's a moon compass. Now this is just me drawn on cardboard. Obviously, you know, apologies for the writing and my not so great moons there. Reason I actually quite like using pencil for this sort of stuff, because pencil doesn't it won't really come off, and that goes back to like some of the older Navy days. Like in the Navy, all the logs are written in pencil, and that's literally because ship goes down, pencil won't wash off, whereas biro and stuff like that will. So pencil's always really your best bet for the outdoors. But if you wanted to make this more robust to carry with you, obviously you could use a sort of plastic, you know, some sort of polycarbonate material. I've actually seen one made out of leather, you know, nice little leather. I think this is roughly about like a 15 centimetre sort of diameter. You don't really want it much smaller. So again, it's not really pocket size, but you could sort of have it in your backpack as a little backup. But basically, well, as you can see, you've got your normal compass, north, south, west and east right there. And then what I've done at the back, I've got some instructions there just so that you can always remember. You can go through the steps if you haven't used it for ages. But the way this works is you've got just this dial here, and this is just like one of them little cardboard pins. So you'd set this little window. There's the little arrow there, just there. And like I say, we're just about a few days, three days before full moon. So we're still on a waxing gibbous, right? So you've got all your waxing moons, first quarter, and then going into full moon, and then you're going into your sort of waning moon. So what you would do is you'd set it to your current moon position, right? And then what you do is you'd lay the compass flat, and then you'd look here, you've got your times, yeah? So your 24-hour clocks here, yeah? Just round there. So once your moon is set, and then you check your time, you'll move the compass with the time to the direction of the moon, yeah? So if you're looking at the moon at 2000, that's obviously all set. You'll point that 2000 to the moon, yeah, and that will give you your bearing there that you can go off. So, and obviously you want to take into consideration using your local time as well. So yeah, handy bit of kit for using the moon if you want to do a little project, have a little nighttime wonder and give it a whirl. There is a really good book. There's not really, I haven't really found sort of much literature on the moon compass itself, but there is there's one of the best sort of survival, it's not really bushcraft book essentially, but it's a survival book written by a former Royal Marine, Andy Lane, and obviously being Royal Marine they've got some great training and a lot of cold weather stuff that they would have done in Norway, so I would definitely go along those lines. But Andy Lane, he does have the sort of setup of the moon compass in his book, so you can sort of go through the process. It's called Survival Advantage. I'll pop a little link down below so that you can, if you do want to have a look at that book, you can have a link to it. So it's a good book. So that's it really. That's sort of the moon and star stuff. If there are any questions, just give it a whack in the comments, and I'll see you later for another video.